In this module, we'll be talking about organization-wide risk management. This is how the organization prepares for managing risks at the organizational level. So let's jump into the slide deck. This task is prepare for organization-wide risk management. The first part we need to think about is managing security and privacy risks and who's responsible for this type of activity. First off, this requires involvement of the entire organization. This includes senior leaders who are going to provide the strategic vision, the goals, and objectives for the risk program. Mid-level managers who are responsible for planning and executing and managing projects that support the organization-wide risk management, and individuals that will actually be implementing, operating, and maintaining the systems that provide the risk management across the organization. Managing risks is a holistic activity impacting the entire organization, including but not limited to the following: the mission and business planning activities, the enterprise architecture, the SDLC or software development lifecycle or system development lifecycle processes, the system engineering activities that are integral to those system lifecycle processes. Normally we look at a multi-level risk management approach in this pyramid-shaped diagram, where we have level 1, C-level organizational officials providing the broad-based risk perspective on how the organization will handle risk. At level 2, we'll see the business and mission processes that handle risk across various organizational support structures in the organization. And level 3 is normally where information systems handle risk management. We see communication and reporting flowing up and down from level 3 through level 2 to level 1, and we see risk management activities flow across those levels as well. As we move down the pyramid, we get more detailed and granular risk perspectives. And this makes sense if we think about it. At that level 1 strategic view of risk, we're going to look at risks that impact the entire organization. Things like ransomware or threat actors. But as we move down to the system level, maybe we'll look at specific risks like the risk of exposing remote desktop procedures or remote desktop protocols to the internet and how we can deal with that. We have to make risk management decisions. And these are decisions about how to manage such risks at the system level. And they can't be made in isolation, but they're linked to a number of things in the organization, including mission or business objectives of the organization. And this is very important. Modernization initiatives for systems, components, and services, enterprise architecture and the need to manage and reduce the complexity of systems through the consolidation, optimization, and standardization of systems and technologies, the allocation of resources to ensure the organization can conduct its mission and business operations effectively, efficiently, and in a cost-effective manner. When we implement security and risk management decisions, we always do it with the view of the mission or the business objectives of the organization in mind. We have to make sure that the organization can conduct its primary mission so that it can do what it needs to do, but in a secure manner. So a lot of times we're going to have to balance risk decisions against mission objectives and come out with the best decision on the other side. Preparing the organization to execute the RMF, as you know, the risk management framework, can include assigning roles and responsibilities for organizational risk management, establishing a risk management strategy and organizational risk tolerances, identifying the missions, the business functions, and mission business processes the information system is intended to support. What does the system you're building support? Does it support a critical business function for the organization? Then that's going to be an important factor to determine as we're preparing the system. Identifying the key stakeholders, both internal and external to the organization, that have an interest in the information system, because we're going to want to talk to them and make sure that they have input into the system design and how it's going to be used. Identify and prioritize assets, including information assets that may not be physical. Understanding the threats to the information system and the organization, and understanding the potential adverse effects on individuals should the system be implemented, and also if the system is not implemented. Preparing the organization to execute the RMF can include conducting organization and system level risk assessments, which I think are very important to do, identify and prioritize security and privacy requirements, determine the authorization boundaries for information systems and common controls. Authorization boundaries are so important, we'll talk about them in their own module coming up soon. Defining information systems in terms of the enterprise architecture. How does the system fit into the enterprise architecture? How does it connect to supporting structure that already exists today? Developing the security and privacy architectures that include controls suitable for inheritance by information systems. We'll gain so much value by finding systems that we can inherit controls from. Identify, align, and deconflict security and privacy requirements, and allocating security and privacy requirements to information systems, system elements, and organizations. So we want to align with what's going on in the environment today. There may be specific system requirements that are different between the system we're building, the business unit we're supporting, and the overall enterprise. So we need to deconflict those. Maybe something as simple as password length. Maybe the organization says password length is 8 characters. The business process says maybe the password length is 10 characters, and maybe the elements we're supporting, maybe the data owner says for a specific data type, the password length has to be 14 characters. That's something that has to be deconflicted. In this case, we go with the most strict requirement of 14 characters on the password. Activities in risk management occur at each level. At level 1 and 2, activities prepare the organization for the RMF. Activities at level 3 are guided and informed by risk decisions at the organization and mission business process levels. That means those things at level 1 and 2 support what we're doing at level 3. They give us the guidance and vision of how we need to implement risk management, how we implement those security controls on our system, how we determine what is critical to do and what things maybe can be waived. The risk decisions at levels 1 and 2 can impact the selection and implementation of controls at the system level or level 3. Controls are designated by the organization as system-specific, hybrid, or common, or what we refer to as inherited controls in accordance with the enterprise architecture, the security or privacy architecture, and any tailored control baselines or overlays that have been developed by the organization. This hones us in to reduce the number of controls that we need to implement at the system level, which is one of the primary drivers for going to the RMF. We want to inherit controls as much as possible. We want to use a hybrid structure of controls whenever possible, and then those system controls that are left over are truly those that need to be implemented at the system level. By doing this, we'll develop traceability. Organizations establish traceability of controls to the security and privacy requirements that the controls are intended to satisfy. This traceability ensures that all requirements are addressed during system design, system development, implementation, operations, maintenance, and finally in disposal. We always have to think about how controls are managed through all these stages of the system development lifecycle and the risk management framework. Each level of the risk management hierarchy is a beneficiary of a successful RMF execution, reinforcing the iterative nature of the risk management process where security and privacy risks are framed, assessed, responded to, and monitored at various organizational levels ensures that the organization makes sound risk management decisions from the system level through level 2 all the way to the enterprise level. Without adequate risk management preparation at the organizational level, the security and privacy activities can become too costly, demand too many skilled security and privacy professionals, and produce ineffective solutions. Essentially, without starting at the organizational level, building the framework for risk management at that level, we can't be efficient at the system level, and this drives up system development costs, system security costs, and the overarching cost of building systems and software for the organization. A lack of adequate preparation by the organization could result in unnecessary redundancy, inefficient, costly, and vulnerable systems, services, and applications. This module covered at a high level risk management at the organizational level, including managing security and privacy risks, the multi-level risk management approach, risk management decisions, organizational preparation, activities at each level, impacts of risk decision, traceability, risk management at all levels, and risk management preparation. I look forward to seeing you in the next module. If any of this doesn't make sense, please go back and check it out again.